Cool. Hey, Michelle, what's going on?
How are you doing today?
Doing well, man. We're excited to have Miss Michelle Hernandez in the building to talk to us today to give us some updates on what's going on, man, with the Economic Development Department and some of the
Mhm.
stuff you guys got going on that maybe a lot of people don't know about, they're interested about, maybe some buzz been going around. But first of all, how long have you been with the Economic Development Department? And how's that been so far for you with the because I know you're kind of fairly
New
new.
to the team,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So
So how
started
long
in
has it been?
March. Started in
Yes.
March
Okay.
and just going and going. We've got an amazing director. Tony has been really trying to make a very strong team. We're actually really trying to give a new name to Grand Prairie and be that economic development department that does differentiate us from different cities. So we're very proactive. We're not sitting here waiting. We're wanting to go after the concepts that we think would be best for Grand Prairie.
Yeah, Tony's a good guy, man.
Mhm.
Tony's came in even before you. He's
Yes.
still fairly new
Hmm.
himself, but it seems like he's doing some pretty good stuff. He's
Oh
building a
yeah.
strong team, and you guys are rocking and rolling with Frankie over there.
Yes.
So
And Pharrell.
and for real, so y'all team is expanding and building, man.
Yes.
So to me, this what is before we get into the bigger
Mm-hmm.
announcement that we're going to talk about, right? What are just some of the things that just kind of locally right here in the city, maybe on Main Street, because I know there's
Hmm.
some development and stuff, plans that's supposed to be
Hmm.
going into place with the whole Main Street
Yes.
sector.
Hmm.
Any updates on that people can kind of look forward to?
I know the first phase is working on the street. So there is going to be some very drastic changes to the street to be able to develop it to make it a more walkable, friendly type of downtown.
Yeah,
As in, a lot of people, if you haven't seen the new Sonic that moved down the street,
beautiful. I
it's
seen
actually a
it.
unique concept. And the great thing that people are doing in Grand Prairie is they're doing unique new technology or new footprints that they're doing for their for their location. So Sonic is actually doing that was one of their first of a kind that they're doing in that playground. And I've seen people at 8 o'clock in the morning already taking their kids early before it gets really hot, birthday parties and things that they can do there. So I've seen it pretty busy already so far. But I think being able to have it where it's a new downtown that's going to have a new amphitheater, where we've already are going to start working on the buildings that are going to be changed up for some retail,
Hmm.
multifamily, to really make it a livable downtown and make it to where we have more pedestrians, more businesses that would benefit from everybody being there.
I love it. So with the new Sonic being like one of the first
Mm-hmm.
new bills on Main Street, is there any another one that's going to be kind of start to some construction sometime soon? Another maybe
We're
restaurant or
Well, I think the city's trying to really fix the infrastructure first,
okay,
so we can get the businesses going. But Zavala's, Firehouse, Gastro, Moss Coffee, all of the businesses that are already on Main Street, we're
yeah,
working to make sure there's still accessibility to them because they are vital to the consistency of downtown. So the city's making sure that, and everybody will know, hey, you can still get there, through a different route while the streets are being done because the streets are going to be pretty torn up, but we do want to make sure that downtown is still alive. People are still having their businesses there and thriving. That way, when everything's done, we've got a fresh downtown to be able to really build on, bring some great businesses, and have an addition to Epic Central and have another location in Grand Prairie people can go to for a destination fun.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Grand Prairie, man, is really coming along, and I think a lot of people, the residents, the city itself, is just really anxious and excited to kind of
Mhm.
see what's next, right? Because the Epic Central area has developed really well,
Mhm.
and some other things are coming along with the Top Golf and all the stuff coming into the area. So it's good to see that the revitalization of
Mhm.
Main Street, right?
Mhm.
'Cause and the amphitheater and all the good things that you guys doing there. What are some of the things that for residents who are in that area? Because I've talked to some of the business owners who are kind of a little bit maybe, man, I wonder what it's going to be like when they start to do the construction and a little bit worried about their business and accessibility to it.
Mhm.
So I know you mentioned that just now that y'all working on those plans, but
Mhm.
how long you think that whole shutdown and that whole construction on Main Street from start to maybe finish? Any projections on what time frames look like?
I know our transportation department would is the one working on that with TxDOT, because we're actually taking the street back from TxDOT so that Grand Prairie
Mm,
could actually be the one to maintain it.
yeah,
So it is one of those things that, being in Texas, worry about weather and kind of making it as quickly as possible. But I know we're trying to make sure that it's something as quickly as possible to get done for the businesses so that, they aren't having to deal with it too long. So I'm learning the downtown plans and trying to learn time frames and things like that. But our city management office is really working to make it an amazing place. And so I know all of us are wanting it to be done
yeah,
as quickly as it can, because all of our festivals that are held there, I think all of the events that are going to be there are just going to be so elevated, and have availability for people to use it for other reasons as well. So
yeah, yeah,
but it's going to become a very, it's just going to be able to add the different aspects of the city, since we're so tall and, lean, is
yep,
that in the different parts of Grand Prairie, you've got great things happening in all the areas.
yeah. I see it happening. So backing up a little bit, what is your role with this whole economic development department and all the great things that you guys are doing? What is your title? What's your role in this whole process?
Well, I'm starting the team. I come from a tourism background, so I actually work a lot with the destination management before. I was a marketing director before. And so it's one of those where I kind of brought my marketing, also as a realtor, for residential, to kind of already understand real estate, but also bring that flavor. So right now I'm a specialist, but I am working towards building myself on the retail and hospitality side, since that's what I dealt with a lot in tourism. So Tony's been very supportive in just helping me be able to learn everything I can about economic development. Tourism is something that is a hand-holding department with economic development, and we've actually been very intentional now working with Sarah and her team
Mm-hmm.
to make sure Grand Prairie Tourism works a lot with Grand Prairie Economic Development. So I think in that aspect, I've been able to bring the best of both worlds of being on the tourism side. And now I tell people, now I get to know the secret sauces of businesses and what's coming, so that, we can help shape it. And I'm really excited to be on this side to see what's coming, be a part of bringing in new concepts, and making sure we listen to the residents and say, hey, what are you looking for? And seeing what we can do to get them.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Well, I love it, man. So what are some of the things that you think that people um, would want to be excited about that's going to be happening on Main Street? Can you give us an inside scoop on maybe something that's going to be that you guys have in plan already right now for Main Street that you feel like, hey, the residents of Grand Prairie is going to love this, but they don't know about it yet. So can you give us an inside scoop of something that maybe you guys are going to be implementing on downtown that we may not know about yet?
I don't know if a lot of people do know about the look and the renderings of the new amphitheater.
Mm,
The amphitheater is going to be an amazing location that people, not only the city will be able to use, but the residents can use. If people want to do some performances and they want to use it, it's something that we're building for the residents and for the groups to be able to have shows. If we're having an event, it gives a better stage, with better visibility for the types of entertainment that we want to have. Our parks department always tries to bring the highest caliber of entertainment that we can provide at Main Street Fest and all these different events that they have. And I think really seeing that is going to be a very big central point in City Hall Plaza that's going to help be the catalyst to the rest of the downtown. So, and in doing that is what we're trying to do in bringing in and attracting the good retail, more restaurants, more ability to be able to bring the higher caliber, lunches. And we've got some places that are amazing brands that are there right now in downtown, and just being able to continue to bring other corporate brands that would help bring the traffic
yeah.
to downtown.
What type of brands or restaurants you guys are looking at, to kind of give people maybe a kind of feel of what the Grand Prairie Main Street is going to look like and feel like? Any type of brands of terms of restaurants that you guys are looking into now to kind of bring to downtown Grand Prairie?
Right now, it's a little early in the phases to be able to do certain type of brands. We've been trying to help in bringing brands in maybe the other parts of town that could do a second location that could come to downtown.
Like who?
Well, we've got like lunch places, especially. I think
Mm-hmm.
downtown needs some lunch locations. So, if somebody, we've got Panera that's very south. I would love to talk to somebody
Yeah.
about bringing that north as well.
Yeah.
And so we've got Portillo's that just opened yesterday. Those are the larger concepts that would need more real estate, but we would love to have just people who could be in the current historic type of look of the downtown and bring their brand and make it look great. So, but I think as of right now, we're just open to a lot of the unique, healthy options.
Hmm.
Are a lot of things that we're looking at as well. But in Epic Central, Roses is coming along. We've got
Yeah.
BJ's Wholesale. That's a unique concept that they've only got 4 locations in Texas, and we're one of them. So we are really being able to attract, being the center of Dallas and Fort Worth. We're really placing that as being like, hey, you're in the middle. You don't have the Dallas traffic and the pricing. You don't have the Fort Worth. We're right, in the middle where we can get tons of commuter. Grand Prairie itself, and over the last 12 months, attracts over 9 million people to our retail. And so it's in our attractions and so our events. So it's one of those things we're always trying to make sure Grand Prairie is front and center when they're looking at their new options for locations.
I love it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all doing some amazing work in Grand Prairie, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just it seems like every other week, man, just some type of development is going on,
Mm-hmm.
and just the growth of Grand Prairie has just been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we're on the map now,
Oh
based
yeah.
on all the new development that has happened. So we're talking about say for instance, areas like the Epic. That's an
Mm-hmm.
area that's already kind of booming and popping and growing, thriving. Now we also have some major development going on downtown Grand Prairie. Some
Mm-hmm.
amazing stuff is coming up there. There's still a lot of people that may be wondering, hey, what's happening in the north? Is there anything maybe in the future for the north, a little bit more north of
Uh,
Main
we're
Street?
we're working on trying to help. There's corridors. We've got a new restaurant taking over the old PJ's building on Beltline. That's going to
Yeah.
be a nice concept that he's trying to get a little more healthy as well for it. And so I think a lot of what we're doing, there's a lot of land that we're trying to work to kind of develop with the right concepts. So we do work hard to make sure we're trying to level out. We've just been doing grocery analysis to see what we can do about the area. The great thing about Tony is we're really trying to be strategic. So we are investing a lot with consultants to say, hey, this is where we're at. Where do we need to be? Who do we
Mm.
need to look for? Who our target industries are. Our team has been doing a great job in our manufacturing and our industrial type of attraction so that we can become a leader for headquarters for food manufacturing, for aviation and aerospace. Those are high ones that we are known for. So I'm working with the chamber as well and being able to provide resources. And we've got a lot of partnerships with people for workforce as well. So I think right now the north side is something that we are very intentional working with city council to see what we can do to develop. And that's going all the way from up north down to all the new development that we have down south.
Absolutely. And that's good to hear, man, especially for someone who's been, because I know that's always kind of been a question
Mm-hmm.
about North, because the North is a little bit different in terms
Yes.
of the demographics, the type of businesses that's in
Mm-hmm.
that area than anywhere else in Grand Prairie. So,
Yes.
but I think there are some pockets there that can really do some amazing things in
Mm-hmm.
terms of just new developments in that area. So let's shift it a little bit. So let's talk about a lot of people also maybe I've heard maybe about hospitals,
Mm-hmm.
right? And because we're just like I say, we're just straight up and down.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, I think even I heard. I don't want to put any words in his mouth, but Mayor Ron Jensen mentioned that because we're so narrow, straight up and down, usually if people call for an ambulance or something, I mean, you got Mansfield Methodist right there. You
Mm-hmm.
got all these hospitals in these other cities that's so close to us
Mm-hmm.
that so it just kind of maybe wouldn't have made any
Mm-hmm.
sense. Any take on that in terms of just hospitals in Grand Prairie?
And I think it's something that's been looked at, and it's something too because of the geography of Grand Prairie. It does make it difficult because we would want to support somebody who's Grand Prairie, but if we're not an expert in that field, or if there's some another location that is a higher level of professional expertise in
Yeah.
that type of because I know with our fire department having the ISO gold certification, we're able to have somebody from a 911 call to the operating room if needed within 90 minutes.
Mm.
And that's a 1% of the nation of fire departments that are recognized for that. And with the ability for us to have the flexibility of going to the closest one, I think helps with that. Because then, we want to show loyalty to somebody that's in Grand Prairie, which we would love to have somebody work to see what they could do. But having the flexibility to go where the professionals are, where it's known for those trauma centers, the heart, departments, and where we can make sure that they're going to the best care possible.
Yeah.
I think that does kind of give us that kind of uniqueness that we are able to, hey, we're taking you to the best location for this specialized need.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
So North, hey man, y'all just stay tuned. We got some amazing things coming
Mm-hmm.
for the North, and of course, the continued construction in Main Street and then Epic Central. So let's talk about one of the biggest projects that's probably coming to Grand Prairie, and that's a little bit more down south,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Where the intersection of 360 and 287. What's happening down there?
Yeah, and
what's the latest and the greatest?
And I've been in the area almost 20 years, and it's been one of those like fun facts I didn't know that Grand Prairie covers 4 counties.
Yep.
So some people might not know that we, as a city, cover. And so, for a city manager's office, that's a lot of having to deal with all the different counties. And so now we're getting our new developments down south. We've got 2 new ones coming in called Goodland and Lake Song. Goodland is a development that is going to just completed 900 acres of the 2,500 acre annexation.
Wow.
So there's going to be a ton of new development down there. They're actually, I just saw an article. The developer's name is Provident. They're going to have their own water tower that will say Goodland on it. And it's still going to be Grand Prairie. So it's kind of like a city within a city.
Yeah.
So it's just showing the amazing growth that Grand Prairie looks at, to be able to be like, hey, we want it to be part of Grand Prairie, but we'll let you kind of have your own identity. They're going to have their own retail square. They're going to have their own, multifamily, a lot of the single family residential townhomes. They have their own amenity center. Lakesong actually just going through their process with City Council on their new little amenity center that's just north of 287. So right there where 287 and 360 meet is going to be at least another 15. They're expecting Goodland to be about 50,000 residents.
Wow.
So that brings all those residents into Grand Prairie. So there's going to be this is over time. So the city does look at, making sure development and infrastructure is built to accordingly to make sure to handle that type of growth. But I think with all of this being a very strategic type of growth and a very, it's one of those things that we're really looking at how things are done. And we do look at the things that are best for the residents. And some people think that 360 is all Grand Prairie. It's, the west side is Mansfield, the right side is Grand Prairie, the east side's Grand Prairie, and there's parts of the east side that's Mansfield. So
right.
They have their new stadium that's being built down there as well. So it's kind of one of those funny property lines down there. But everything that we're trying to do, as much as we can control and that I can see, is like I'm trying to bring some great retail down there on 360. So 360 south of 20 is going to be another booming area that is going to need retail. It's going to need some big names down there, some great restaurants. And so that whole corridor in Camp Wisdom and 360 is really got to be ready for the growth that they're starting from that point all the way south. So we're going to develop it as much as we can all the way down till we touch Midlothian. So,
wow.
So it's really incredible to where we are really trying to be, we're trying to work with all the developers, all these business owners, and try and say, hey, where can we best place you?
Yeah, yeah. When is have ground been broken yet on any one of these properties yet, or when
Goodland is currently selling. So Goodland does sell homes currently.
Okay.
And Lakesong is in development. So they're working on their all their plans are in planning right now. But it is a development done by the Huffines Group, and so they've got their little website that they've started to try and show some development for that area. So they're working through a lot of their amenities. So right now it's a lot of the planning stages, and I don't even think they've disclosed yet or know who the actual home builders are yet.
Yeah.
But there's quite a few home builders already in Goodland.
Just from my own personal knowledge, man, what do you have any idea? Like, what's the price range, house pricing range?
I know they range from upper 300s to mid 400s, and then they could go up depending on the size of the house, of course, into the 500s.
Yeah.
So I think right now, being from my real estate experience, it used to be first time home buyers were in the ones and twos, but now first time home buyers have to be able to do threes and fours. And so
It's a different market right now,
yeah,
man.
but I mean, great quality, a lot of great brands that are down there for the homes. So it's one of those that, we just try and let businesses know. A lot of people don't realize, and until I was in tourism, I didn't know people always had a tourism department in a city that you can go to for things to do in the city. And our Grand Prairie tourism team does an amazing job. And now we're trying to really educate people on economic development department. I just talked to a broker and they're like, oh, well, I'm glad I talked to you. I'm like, we're here to support you. We're not here to compete. I kind of tell people we're the unbiased brokers. So we're not, dependent on a certain building on where it goes, for commission. And we love working with brokers so that we can help them with that. But we also want to make sure they're in the best location. We have amazing tools to give data specific to the locations, to their business, what they can do to, kind of grow. So, we're kind of trying to make ourselves like the friendly economic development that's here to help and, being the boots on the grounds for businesses, working with planning, making sure things stay on track.
Yeah.
Because our planning department is amazing and has so much stuff going on. So we're trying to do our part to help make sure the businesses, we try and keep the dirt moving and try and get the doors open.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I love it, man. So are you guys doing any marketing right now towards that area in terms of for people who maybe want to buy a lot, start looking in that area?
we just actually did a post on our LinkedIn. We just, from it's something we're very much focusing more on with information. We've just completed our small business Elevate GP program. We did our last session yesterday. We'll have that recording. It's a free resource for businesses. If you want to be able to have access to an amazing nationally known author and coach, Terry Rice,
Mm-hmm.
we have it available. You can see past videos. It's got links to the workbooks. It's got the information. So we're trying to really be able to provide information. And we just posted about Goodland. Our LinkedIn just went over 1,000 followers.
Oh,
So
wow.
we're trying to really build that up. Me as a marketer, I'm trying to really kind of make sure that that's kind of a resource that we're using to let people know about businesses opening, businesses coming, any kind of incentive programs, any events that are around that would benefit businesses. We try and tell people to follow us on that to be able to know what's going on it's not a stagnant page that we're just letting sit there. We're trying to really give useful information. And then we are in the process of getting a new website as well that's going to give resources and show some additional information as well, available properties to kind of go that side. So we don't necessarily promote the actual individual brands, but we do promote the developments so that people can visit them and know about it.
Gotcha. So right now, I know you say you're working on the website and stuff like that. So if someone wanted to get more information about that area, about the developments of that area, and want to go and check it out, if they may be on the market, where would they go right now to kind of?
You can go even to our LinkedIn and find us for Grand Prairie Economic Development on LinkedIn, and as well as through the city website. We currently have some information through the departments under economic development. So we are working on updating a lot of the information on that as well for now until the new site is up. But also just feel free to contact us. I mean, we're happy to talk and see what we can do to email us at ecodev@gptx.org. And so we're just here to be able to help and be a resource for people. And a lot of our housing information is done as well through the city to let people know what's going on. But it's, anybody that's just searching can find it even through a realtor.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, for sure. Do you feel like the buzz is picking up for that area? Like you're starting to hear more people get engaged and involved and kind of gravitate toward that area to kind of see what's going on?
We've got 2 lots still available that are right next to the new Taco Bell that's on Camp Wisdom and 360.
Okay.
So those are going to be some prime lot space that people could build a concept. And then we've also got along 360. There's some space that's being open. We're working on some developments that might not even be retail, just a little more housing. but we're continuing to just see what we can do. I'd love to put a little more retail down there. So there's some land available that I can help with.
There you go, man. So tell me this: what type of businesses right now you guys would love to have in Grand Prairie? Any type of businesses? It could be restaurants. It could be any type of business
I would
that you
love
guys are.
I would love a contact with Cocoa Shrimp. So somebody
Cocoa shrimp.
knows it's opening up in Mansfield. So if anybody knows anybody there, I
Cocoa
would
shrimp.
love to talk to somebody there. And it's kind of one of those where we're trying to just find something that people that we don't have.
Yeah.
So we're looking at concepts, and we are trying to get a little healthier. So if there's any contacts for the healthy type of the businesses that could help in that. But we've also, I just talked to one of the owners that he's like, hey, I grew up in Grand Prairie. I went through all the Grand Prairie schools and I'm coming back to bring my business. So this is a great way as well to be able to, if you're looking at doing a business, being able to work with the team, with you guys in the chamber, and we've got a dedicated person that helps as well on the city side for the small businesses, and try and bring the businesses here to develop. So, we're always trying to see, it's not really a specific type of restaurant and say, hey, let me throw out a bunch of names, but
Hmm.
it's just how can we be unique? What is new to the state? What is something that the state doesn't have that we can have as the first location in Grand Prairie?
Yeah.
I've talked to a couple concepts that have been, hey, we're coming new to Texas, or, we're trying to see what we can do. I reach out to people all the time and just be like, hey, have you thought of coming to Texas? And Grand Prairie is a great start.
Yeah.
So we would love to be the first for businesses and being able to franchise out. A lot of people are signing franchise agreements for Dallas Fort Worth area. So if anybody has new franchise agreements on that we could have Grand Prairie be the first one.
Yeah.
It kind of covers all gamuts of that.
For sure.
So
Speaking of franchise, do you guys still? Because I know y'all used to have in place the franchise you program. Is that
mhm.
something that's still in place for people who want to be a franchise, and you guys are kind of talking to them to kind of make that happen?
We kind of have right now, the only program we've been pushing is our Elevate GP, which is
Okay.
basically like the small business resource side. We actually just attended the franchise game event that was up north in Plano to kind of work with some franchises. Right now, currently, we are just trying to be proactive. I'm about to actually attend Retail Live in Austin so that I can talk to some more retailers. And so it's one of those right now. It's providing information is what we're working on doing. But I think it's helpful to know if anybody has the franchise groups here that we could work with. But in the process of being with our time bandwidth and everything, we're trying to see what we could do to develop the franchises that are looking for the area. And then see if we could go back to helping people if they want to actually go into that. But there's great resources that we've been, attending or working with to say, hey, if you want to do that, make a connection that way.
Yeah.
And we made a connection with the International Franchise Association as well. So that's a partnership that I'm trying to see what we can do and if there's some programs we can do. We're always about, hey, host an event here in Grand Prairie so that we can give resources to our local businesses. So we're always doing that as well. So
Yeah.
if we have events, that's what we would be letting people know too. That would be something that we're hosting here.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, working at the chamber, we always on a regular basis, probably pretty regular actually. We'll get a call from someone
Mm-hmm.
maybe who's trying to find out information about land or
Mm-hmm.
building or different things, right? And so, say for instance, if someone is a business owner, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to be a franchise. It could just be a regular business. They
Mm-hmm.
just want to come to Grand Prairie,
Mm-hmm.
right? How do you guys support someone who's looking for all those things? Hey, I'm looking for a building. I'm looking maybe even for financing or whatever, all the things that it take to get up and running. How do you guys support someone like that?
And I know that's something we're really working on, being intentional with the new website to be able to have a resource, kind of a how to start, for doing business in Grand Prairie. Currently, right now, we do the hand holding. Hey, what kind of building do you want? What kind of square footage are you looking for? We have a database we've developed ourselves of just, using our tools of finding the buildings. I've personally been on showings to kind of show them the businesses, and then they'll go work with their brokers to actually make the deal happen. So we are a very hands-on department that I think sets us apart a little bit, that we're here to try and help and try and be able to be that source and be like, okay, because the more that they're looking at the businesses and the buildings here, then they're going to open their business here, and that helps us in the long run for the jobs and the
Mm-hmm.
people that they're looking for and the employment for residents if needed. So I know Stacy's on works with y'all heavily, so we actually work with Frost a lot too. I've been referring some people to Stacy if they want to do the funding.
Yeah.
So with Frost Bank, so I think being able to show that we have the partnerships, and I think, and I've told people, work with the chamber, work with the resources that they've got there. When you're ready and you've actually want to get a building and work, then we can help in finding the buildings for you. So I think it's a great partnership to be able to work together to say, hey, we've got a whole team of people that can help you in all aspects to get your business up and going, and learn some marketing things. So I think with the businesses that are local or being able to help in all aspects is building a strong team,
Yeah.
as far as what we can be in doing that.
Tell me this: do you have any programming, specific programming for specific groups? Say, for instance, if it's minority, right? Do
Mm-hmm.
you have any specific programming for minority that may allow them to get, or say, for instance, like even veterans, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys have in place
And
right
I
now to
know
kind of?
Patrina is our contact within the city who works heavily with the small businesses. And I've been into meeting with her, and she's very much into pushing the businesses that are here locally.
Yeah.
So she is a great start with the city, that handles our kind of like our in growth of the businesses
Hmm.
for us to be able to kind of move them to the next step of a building and a location. So I think being on the city side, Patrina is a great way to start. And I know
Hmm.
she's a great contact that she can get through you through the chamber as well as on our city site. And I think there it's being able to give them the additional support. And if we see any kind of grants, small business grants, we're posting that on our LinkedIn, ways to help people, that they can get some additional funding and financing, whether it be through state or federal assistance.
Yeah. You mentioned the buildings. Do you guys have like a database of specific buildings that are available for leasing or
Mhm. We
purchase?
have some that are on our site currently right now, and I know with our new site we're going to make it a little stronger,
Really?
so that way people can really do some searching. We have some that we have on our website right now that we've worked on, and they have the location and a flyer. But like I said, on there that has our information. If you can't find it, always ask us, and we'll do what we can to find additional, because there's so much vacancy that it's just hard to list all of it. So if it's a specific need, we've had people look from 1,000 square feet up to 500,000 square feet. So
Mm.
we can kind of look for all different types of sizes of buildings.
You do it all. You
Yeah,
do
we
it
do
all.
all.
I like it. I like it. So tell me this, Michelle. Give me is there any story, maybe of a business or anything in the economic development department that you can remember? It's a unique story that was kind of either funny or just kind of crazy. Any story that you can remember and just kind of share that you've experienced since your time with us here?
I just know one thing that even being in this area, that I think it's such a compliment to the city. I don't know if a lot of people know that Radici and Epic Central is owned by Tiffany Dairy, who is like a nationally, globally known chef.
Yeah.
And for somebody to come, and I know some other cities have their chefs that they have their locations put in to their cities. I think it's just unique how much they were wanting to be a part of the Grand Prairie story, be a part of the Epic Central story, and grow from there. Because I think, I know when she opened and being able to have such an elevated, because I think Grand Prairie, every city wants to have, like, they've got their, family attractions, they've got their family go to places. But when you can have nice places to take, companies, we want to raise that
Yeah.
look of Grand Prairie for corporate events and for things that they can do. So I'm working on some funny stories and kind of things that I can do to develop. So I haven't myself yet, but I think I'm working on that, so that I really do pride myself on learning about the businesses and seeing like, hey, a struggle. Maybe it's not even a funny thing, but it's something like, this was my dream and I'm able to do it in Grand Prairie and my doors opened. And being able to have something to where it's just being able to show the pride that people have of being here,
Yeah.
And I know Matthew from Asia Times Square loves being a representative of Grand Prairie. I mean, he is like, Grand Prairie is a place to be. And I think really seeing how people have the pride in growing their business and saying they're from here. And I think now going to events, we're on the map. We're getting on the map, and people are pushing. Dallas and Fort Worth, and I think people understanding and knowing that Grand Prairie is here is something to really put forth, because a lot of people always go north, and
Yeah.
now it's like north is almost Oklahoma. So
Yeah.
now where are they going to go? They're going to go south. And
Yeah.
so south is, I think, just the next big area that is going to really develop, because DFW can only handle so much. And us being in the middle and being able to really develop out and have prime things that people are going to come to. The airport is our claim to fame. Our proximity to the airport, being able to be something where the north side, does handle, Epic. We have people who literally lay over, go to Epic Central, take an Uber to Epic Central and go back to their airport and leave.
I could
So,
see that.
so it's something where people are really learning, and our tourism's doing an amazing job to let people know this is a place to go, whether it's a few minutes or a few days, kind of
Yeah.
thing, to
Yeah.
keep us on there. And that's going to help us keep attracting these bigger brands and being able to keep us up there, because it's a small town feel, but with a very corporate type of, we've got amazing people who want to be here,
Yeah.
and making sure things are in line and listening to the residents. And it's something where people are kind of always like, hey, well, the residents don't always count it right there. We've got tons of commuters, but the residents are extremely important to us. We want to make sure, some people don't know things that are in their backyard.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, you're your own worst tourist. I'm a born and raised Dallas person. And I'm like, I feel like one of the few lately, the native, Dallas or Texan sometimes. And I'm like, why do people go downtown, or why do they go? I'm like, wow, there's amazing things here. Like, you just need
Oh,
to take a tour of your own Metroplex and kind of just do little day tours. And there's a guy known as a day tripper, and it's just like things you could do in your own town, in your own state, that just make it like, just take a day and go visit other areas. And sometimes it makes you appreciate what you have in your backyard, because you're like, I didn't realize we had a top water park.
yeah.
I didn't realize we have, the Ripley's and the Lone Star Park, and, so much things that you can do with your family that, and it's one of those where you don't realize that a family vacation can cost thousands of dollars everywhere else, and people spend thousands of dollars to come here
Yeah.
and spend with their family. And so it's like, you live it all the time. Go when it's not busy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you have that advantage.
Absolutely, man.
So,
Man, I mean, you said it beautifully. I
yeah.
think it's pretty amazing, and I think one of the most amazing things I also recognize with Grand Prairie is how the local business owners in the area, how the residents, how the city of Grand Prairie, how the Grand Prairie Chamber, and how we all just kind of really work together. You,
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned something like Ripley's, believe it or not, right? They are part of the chamber. You mentioned Matthew Lowe; he's a part of the chamber, but not just that, he's also on our board, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a feel that everybody is working together to make Grand Prairie the best that it could be,
Mm-hmm.
right? With the community in mind, right? Try to make a family feel, make people feel safe, and all these different things, and it's just a beautiful type of vibe and energy that's resonating throughout the community of Grand Prairie right now, that people are just really loving it, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great time, right? So, but tell me this, as we almost get ready to wrap up, but I'm curious, right? So everything is shining, everything ain't rainbows. For some business owners who are trying to come into Grand Prairie, just what are you seeing are some of the challenges for some of the business owners, or just main brands or businesses who are trying to come to Grand Prairie? What are some of the challenges you see that they're facing to kind of be a part of the Grand Prairie community?
I think initially, because we see from the very beginning, the development is getting the right architects, the right designers, the right people who understand to have plans that they need to work with the city on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, restrictions, or there's a lot of guidelines that need to be followed so that they can, because I'm on all these calls, and all of the departments are looking for their specific thing that they have to look for to make sure it's in the best interest of the city. And whether it's traffic flow, whether it's the direction of a drive-through, whether it's how many parking spaces for a building, how much land is being used for certain concepts. I think I've seen some that a drawing had to go back 2 or 3 times because some of it was just illogical.
Right.
But having a good team to set you up at the beginning, because we will do what we can to, if it's, like in my case, if it's a retail and they're doing their plans and they're wanting to come, I'm on their calls, making sure, like seeing what the departments are saying, what feedback they're getting. And I'm saying, hey, if there's something that needs to be done, hey, why don't you talk to your designer? Make sure you got a good partner to set yourself up in the beginning, because it's not a bad process if you've got the right plans.
Yeah.
And, our planning team and our department is not here to just keep coming back at you and being like, you need to do this, you need to do this. It's just like, they have an amazing thing of a pre-application. The pre-application lets you have first look and be like, hey, this is what you're going to have to look at. This is what you're going to have to encounter. That way they can fix it before they do an actual application. I think it's an amazing process that the planning department has, that get an access to the department before you get a lot of your money spent on the plans and see where you're going. Because it can be a basic sketch. And then they're like, hey, you need to make sure it includes all these items. And that way you're back and ready to go. And so I think sometimes the planning department gets a bad rap, and it's like they're not out to hurt anybody's business or try and set anybody back.
Mm-hmm.
They are here to make sure that your business is successful because you have the right things. Because some people might not think about traffic flow in and out of a location, and we know this stuff. Our departments know what this, the day to day is, and people just, I think, need to understand that we're here to help and make sure it's set up properly, that your foundation doesn't mess up later. You do it, you build it right. And so everything that everybody is doing, I think, is in the best interest, because economic development is what brings revenue into the city. Aside from sales tax, or aside from property tax, sales tax is the revenue generator. And so we're trying to make sure everybody is successful in their own right, and that they build a strong, foundation. So I think the main obstacle I've really seen is, and I think I even was just at an event where one of the developers was like, hey, the problem is sometimes there's bad cities to work with, and then there's great cities to work with.
Right.
And I think that's where people feel like a reputation is like, oh, their department's terrible to deal with, or that city's hard to deal with. And I'm there telling them like, hey, we're not one of those cities. We're one of those. Just help us, be as ready as you can be. And we're one of the best cities to work with.
Yeah. I love it, man. I love it. Well, Michelle, man, you've been an amazing wealth of information, hopefully to help people understand that basically, as an economic development department, we're here. Mm-hmm. We're here to help. We want you to succeed. We're welcoming businesses to the city of Grand Prairie. And it's just really a matter of them connecting with you guys to kind of map up the plan, so to make sure that they're setting up their business to succeed. So
for sure.
Thank you so much, man, for sharing that
course.
information and just being a part of this podcast today. And keep taking care of business, baby.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.